Gene has just readjusted his seat, as you can tell here on the sports call. Pittsburgh CW.
Okay, ready to go, Bob.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
These are hard seats to get comfortable in.
They are. It's been about 8 months on this one.
412-575-2600 is the number to call. I want to get also into that World Series game last night. And it was a very dramatic game, no doubt. But I think both managers have been guilty of when it comes to their bullpens. For example, the other night, I was starting game 2 because I thought Rich Hill didn't deserve to be taken out after the 4th inning, and it became a domino effect for Dave Roberts, who used 9 pitchers in a 9-inning game. And then we saw Charlie Morton the other night give up 3 hits into the 7th inning, only 76 pitches, Gene. He was taken out, and then that backfired on the Astros. Last night, lots of home runs. 22 in this series. We saw 3 3-run home runs. It goes into the 10th, and Houston prevails 13-12. They got Verlander on a hill for Game 6. I would imagine that's the game they want. They don't want to go to Game 7. It sets up beautifully for them. But what's your take on this World Series so far?
I think it's been tremendous. I mean, I think you see all the examples of how the game is changing, and it's changing rapidly in terms of strikeouts and home runs and the way people use their bullpens. But just from an entertainment standpoint, I think it's been tremendous. You get to Game 5 of the World Series, you're 5 hours into the 5th game, and what you have is 2 games apiece and 12 runs apiece. You can't really get a better World Series than that. And it'll be interesting, obviously, to see what happens here in Game 6 and 7. As for that 13-12 game, I loved it. I mean, I always prefer a 13-12 game to a 1-0 game.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I had the privilege of covering the 15-14 game between the Blue Jays and the Phillies in the '93 World Series. I thought it was tremendous.
A lot of hitting. If you like hitting, that's what you're going to get.
Like hitting.
It was clutch hitting.
That's why they have bats, Bob.
That's right. But what do you think about managers? I know this time of the year you only have 7 games, so you can use whatever you want. But still, I think I think both these guys have overmanaged. The other night, I didn't understand Charlie Morton why taken out. I mean, if he was at 106 pitches, he was only into 70s, and he was in control. And
Rich Hill, too. You know, I was talking with our friend Jim Lehman about this very thing today, to drop a name. And we were talking about how this has gone, you know, the pendulum has swung on this. You know, at first, the managers about not going to their bullpens earlier because the situations were so urgent. Why don't you bring the closer in the 8th? Why don't you bring the middle guy in the 6th? Why don't you bring the front of the bullpen into the 4th in these really urgent games? Well, now the managers have acquiesced to that, and now they're getting criticism for doing the opposite. But I agree with you. The managers have been too impatient with their starters, and they've worn their bullpens out, and that was what was at work not only in the 5th game but also in the 2nd game, where, you know, I think Jason Stark pointed out, and this is why I love Jason Stark, that in the entire history of the World Series, from 1903 on to this year, only 17 extra inning homers were hit. In Game 2, 4 were hit in a half hour.
They had all sorts of stuff. You got to love guys like Jose Altuve. Boy, he's clutch.
It's the closest thing to Pete Rose in 40 years.
He's really great. Let's go to Mark in Pittsburgh. Hey, Mark, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
All right, what's up?
You know, my comment is what I liked about the baseball game was the whole national anthem. I thought it was a very patriotic thing. These guys all stood at attention with their hand over their hearts. The bald eagle came flying in. It's such a welcome relief as compared to football for me.
I got a big rating last night. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but nationally at least, it outdrew the Steelers and the Lions. Let's go to Vaughn in Monroeville. Hello, Vaughn. How are you?
I'm doing good, Bob. Gene, how are you guys doing?
We're good.
Wonderful.
Help me on this. Is Ben's play in trouble, or give me your analysis on that, would you please? Thanks.
All right, Gene. You said yeah there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ben is, you know, at that point in his career where he's not what he was. I don't think there's anything wrong with that or anything surprising or anything that shouldn't be expected. You know, he threw some great passes last night. He threw some terrible passes last night. And his passer rating, I think, for the season is around 86, which is not what you want it to be, you know, especially for that amount of money. But yeah, he is 35 years old, and he's not what he used to be, and I don't think there's any shame in it.
No, I don't. I think he's not been at his best, certainly, and I think he's overthrown some guys. I don't know if he's compensating for, you know, a lot of people speculate, well, his legs maybe not be as strong as they once were, which is typical, and so therefore you overcompensate with your arm. I don't know. I know that he put one right on the money for Eli Rogers, who dropped it. And that's going to be an issue. You know, Darius Hayward-Bay, that was one that maybe he threw him, you know, a little bit, let him too much. He overthrew Jesse James right before he connects with Juju Smith-Schuster. So That's the nature of the beast when it comes to that stuff. But overall, he converted a lot of third down plays, which is something Matthew Stafford did not do. But I think you're right. He's 36, and he still is good enough to get it done, but he's not what he once was. Who is at that age? So we'll see. All right, let's go out to Brad in Duncansville. Brad, how you doing?
Good, Bob. Hi, Gene. How are you guys?
Okay,
We're good.
Thanks.
I have a comment for you and a Steeler question for you.
All right, let's have them. Take
My
all the
Steeler-
time you need.
Okay. My Steeler comment is, I think the Steelers defense does their job, keep doing what they're doing. They have a very good shot at beating New England. What do you think,
Okay.
Gene?
And what's your other one?
And my Steeler question is, do you think the Steelers will unload Martavis Bryant since Juju Smith-Schuster is doing his job?
I think Martavis Bryant still has a big opportunity ahead of him here. I still think they know they need him eventually. I looked at that Steeler receiver core now without him, and what you see is Antonio Brown, Gene, and you see Juju, and after that you see guys who have a lot of question marks. Not unlike the Pirates starting rotation. After you get beyond maybe one or two, there's a lot of question marks. I think you need other guys to step up. Why would they do anything but keep him and try to get him back to what he is? And I think he has every opportunity ahead of him as long as he does what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get rid of him. I think they'll keep him on for the exact reasons that Bob stated. As for the Steelers beating New England, I think the Steelers can beat New England, but I think but the way to do that is not necessarily with their defense, but with their offense. If they can keep Tom Brady off the field, they can beat New England. If Tom Brady plays 32 or 33 minutes, they cannot.
Yeah, the one thing about their defense, and I give it a lot of kudos because they did not break at the end. And all those drives, they came up with huge plays, and that's a resilient bunch right there. However, if you saw and watched that game and Stafford throwing the ball all over the place, you had to wonder about Brady doing the same thing potentially, or anyone of that elite caliber. There aren't many of them on their schedule now that Rodgers is out for the season, Gene, but that's a concern. Now, they were good in the red zone defensively, but they were still struggling offensively in the red zone. So these are things that still have to be worked out both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and you got a month to figure it out. Everyone has trouble with Tom Brady. I don't care how good your defense is.
We're going to take a break. It's 412-575-2600. That's the number to call us. Let us know what you think. You can also tweet the program at KD Pomp, at Gene Collier. Back with more right after this.